what some teachers and schools find quite tricky is actually getting your film made and in by the closing date. You actually have 5 months to make your film, which can seem like a really long time, but as some of the teachers that have been in the program for a while will tell you that it can go past like that. So it's really important that you plan ahead. So once you've come up with your idea, the first thing you need to do is make a timeline. We all do this when we're making films, documentaries, whatever. And usually the first thing that I do as a producer when I'm making a timeline is I put in my deadline, and your deadline is the 1st of September when the entries close. If you don't have your film sent to us on that day, by that day, then it won't be eligible to be judged, which would be a real shame if you've spent so much time making it. So I'm you don't have to follow these dates, but this just gives you a rough idea of how you could schedule what you have to do. After you've made your timeline, you need to write your script and make a shot list. And I'm going to explain to you in a minute what a shot list is and also what a storyboard is. Then you need to choose roles for your crew. You might have an idea already of what roles you like what you'd like to do. And this is just an idea of some roles. There are lots of other roles that you might like to, depending on the type of film you're making. You might need, for example, a research person. You might like to make somebody the music producer for your film. Okay, because it's really important when you're choosing your music, as Shane has said, that it suits your film. And please remember, you must have permission to use copyright music. Do you all understand what that means? You can't just go and choose your favourite CD or track of music and put that on your film unless you have permission. But if you have GarageBand or you have a school band and someone in the school that would like to produce some original music, you can do that. Last year, Lithgow High School had a student who composed and played a piece of piano music, which was absolutely perfect for the film. It was a beautiful piece of original music, and it actually made the film, it really completed the film. So please consider doing that. So does everyone understand what all these people do? You all know what a writer does, what a director does. The production assistant will be the person that helps your teacher get everybody organised. Camera operator, sound operator, talent. I'm sure we have plenty of talent people here. Who likes to be in front of the camera? Lots of people. Costume and props, and an editor. Now you can have, it's a good idea to have more than one person doing the editing, okay, because you need to bounce ideas off each other. And so there's plenty of roles for people to do whilst making your film. Then you need to organise your pre-production. So that involves your props, your costumes, your locations, your script. Organise your equipment. Don't wait until the day that you're going out to shoot to pull the camera out of the box for the first time. Okay, you really need to know your gear and make a shoot schedule. This is a shoot schedule. What a shoot schedule does is it shows everybody who's involved in your film where they have to be and when. It's really important because what would happen if the props person forgot to bring, you know, say the megaphone on the day that you needed the megaphone and you'd all been dropped off at the beach? You know, would waste valuable time going back to have to get the props. Or if you had one of your actors didn't turn up because they didn't know they had to be there. So this is really important, and it's usually the production assistant's job to do this. Then you can start shooting. So see here, you've actually 2.5 months into it and you only just start shooting. Don't run off and start shooting next week until you have done everything else that is involved in your pre-production. After you finish shooting each day, you need to go and put your footage into the computer. Because if you wait until you've been shooting for 2 weeks to have a look at what you've shot, what might happen? Yeah?
You might notice that something's going wrong.
That's right. You might actually find there's no sound on it. Okay, and or you might find that you've started recording after the person's already started talking and you've missed half of what they had to say. It'll save you a lot of time. You can record any voiceovers and you can plan your music. And then you come to the edit and you need to allow plenty of time for editing because in our experience this is generally where things go wrong if they're going to go wrong. And we get lots of phone calls from teachers at this point. So please allow plenty of time for editing. When you've finished your edit, you need to output your DVD and check that you can play it in a couple of different DVD players, because if you put it in to a DVD player and you can't, the picture starts pixelating and there's no sound, we can't fix that, okay? So you need to make sure you're really happy with what you send us. And please make sure that you label your DVD. We've actually had plenty of entries come in with no label, nothing, and we have to try and guess where they've come from. And remember that all your films must have the KWN logo on them somewhere. And I just suggest you do it at the front where you put your title up. Just use the logo there, okay, so that you don't forget. And then you can post the entry into us with plenty of time to spare. Okay, so does that timeline kind of make sense to everybody? And then the entries close, obviously. So once you've got a timeline, you need to write your script. And very basically, all stories need to have a beginning, a middle, and an end. Okay, so try and remember to have an introduction, the main body of your film, and then the punchline. So we're not all left hanging at the end wondering what your point you were trying to make. Then you need to make a storyboard and a shot list. Now this is a storyboard for the Panasonic Lumix camera. And a storyboard really is just your script in pictures, okay? So anybody that is reasonable at drawing stick figures can do a storyboard. And it's really important because it shows you what you need to shoot, okay? So as you can see here, it also shows different shots. It shows a wide shot, it shows a close-up shot, it shows a cutaway of the camera. So try and put as much information as you can into your storyboard. And then you do a shot list. The shot list is made from the script and the storyboard. When Shane does a shot list, he gets the script and he writes down numbers next to the script of each shot that he wants to do, and then he makes, at the same time, a shot list that describes in full what each shot is, where the location is, whether it's a wide shot or a close-up, whether it's 100%, which means that you've got someone talking to camera, or whether it's voiceover. And the good thing about a shot list is then you can put all the shots that are at the one location, at the same location, together. So you might actually shoot the beginning of the first shot of your film, the first scene, and the last scene at the same time because they're in the same location. You don't shoot your script in sequence, okay? So you shoot it all out of order a lot of the time because it depends on the location. And then someone needs to mark off the shots with a tick, and then you know you've done them so that you don't forget anything. Okay, so are there any questions on the timeline or the storyboard and the shot list? I can actually send you the templates for these if you like, so it'll make it really easy for you. Sorry to race through this, but I know we're short of time. So I just want to say good luck to you all. It's really fantastic to see that you've all come today, and I hope that you've learnt some tips. Have you all learnt something today? Yes. Fantastic, and I hope you go away. And just remember, just because the program's called Kid Witness News, we don't want you to go away and just make a news story. Okay? Think of something really different and really creative, because the more creative your idea, the more excited the judges get. Okay? Has anybody got any questions for any of us just before we finish? Yes? Who are the judges? That's a very good question. We have 5 judges. We have a judge from Panasonic, we have a judge from Panasonic's advertising agency, and then we have 3 industry professionals. One's an editor, one's a filmmaker, or actually we usually have 2 filmmakers. So they represent quite a diverse range of people that work in the industry. Okay? Any other questions? Yes? Good question too. 5 minutes is the maximum length that your film can be. So if you make a film that's 5 minutes and 10 seconds, the judges will watch the first 5 minutes. So if you haven't finished the film, your story by then, we could end up missing the punchline. But it can be 1 minute. If you watch commercials on television, some of them are only 30 seconds. So it doesn't have to be 5 minutes, but that's that's the maximum length that it can be. That's a very good question too. I can't really answer that. When the program first started in Japan, that's the name that they gave it at head office. That's all I can say, really. Not really. I mean, we'll watch. The judges will watch those anyway. So if it's integral to the story, yes, but otherwise that's fine.
What if when you're finishing the credits, it's just got over 5 minutes?
Ah, yeah, well, that was a similar question. That's okay. If it's the credits and it's not part of the story, that's okay.
It's good to put the credits in because it lets the judges know that the whole class was involved and it wasn't just one student's work.
Sometimes you can do that, though, on the label that you make for your DVD cover.
If, you have to get permission off of the CDs.
For the music? Okay, well, it depends who owns the music, but you'll find on iTunes or whatever that it will tell you who owns the music. It might be Sony Music. I suggest you steer away from doing that, though, because it can take you months to get permission, and sometimes they don't give permission. The older the music is, then the more likely it is, but I'd steer away from that if you can. But you can download a lot of free music from the internet. So that could be one of your crew's roles, is just to find a piece of music that suits, okay? Anything else? Anybody? Okay, well, thank you very much for your attention today.